Hello, guys. Welcome to yet another episode of the Travel Podcast by Aviation. My name is Brown, and I'm your host again for the show. And today we are going to discuss about immigration and travel. Here with me, I have distinguished lady and gentlemen who are contributors on the show. They are going to give us their insight about immigration and travel and the best ways to get on with it. By my far right here, I have KK. KK, please, can you tell us more about yourself?
Okay, guys. Yeah, I'm KK Japa. I'm a brand strategist and a marketing strategist as well. I've been in this industry for over a decade now, and I'm glad to be you on the Sharp Posters very much edition. Thank you.
Well, welcome to the show, KK. By my side here, I have a beautiful lady with me. Please, can you tell us your name and what you're about?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Brown. My name is Aviation. I'm the business development manager where we met. Have 10 years in business development.
Wow.
And I'm so glad to be on the shoot.
Wow. You're very welcome. And by my left here, we have a distinguished gentleman. Please, sir, can you tell us him?
All right, guys. My name is Martin Savan. I'm a world traveler.
For sure.
Yeah, so I mean,
For sure.
some 20 decades. Let's say 2 decades for now, but I'm hoping to get it 20 decades. Well, the exposure, and the experience in the travel industry. I'm a travel business founder as well.
You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Captain Martins.
Thank you.
So we have a series of questions here on the agenda here, or things that we're going to discuss. The first one, we're going to look at why do people migrate? The Japa levels. Why do people travel out of their comfort zones? Go to other people's lands or other geographical locations. Why do people migrate? Can anybody give us insights on that, the pros and cons of migration?
Yeah, and I think true one or two things about migration. Yeah, Nigeria, with the Japa, the Japa in Nigeria has been a thing from way back. It's just a search for greener pasture. Where it's being where you really still. So Japan, for me, my own thought about it, I knew from the Belgians, they say, I think Abraham go to the ground, your country home. I don't know.
The place I will show you. Yeah, don't you ever?
Yeah, over now. It's
Every time I was showing you that, what we need to do with that here. So I know it's about a little later. So that part of it in the foreign people better places to excite. They can get better jobs, better life. Some because it can be a place where it's not really in line with their bone, their patterns, their nature, their spirits as a whole. So they want to move to a place that can sit well with them. So recently we have the scenario that we were living in Nigeria to travel out to Europe and other American countries. This is because of the standard of living for most of them, and also the kind of jobs they have. They have the skill, but then they're not getting paid what they feel will be deserved. So they feel like they can get a place where they can get paid higher. So why not to get the option? Even you have to go. You haven't get better than there. So that part thing to me, I feel like it is not stopping anytime soon. The whole world, not just Nigeria, everywhere on time. They travel because they want to see somewhere beautiful and like a better place that will suit their own lifestyle. So pretty beings as well. So
yeah. I want to mend my voice towards taking sync. I was just watching a podcast today.
Yeah.
And they're talking about reasons why people migrate.
Okay.
He said talent goes where it's talent is rewarded.
Sure.
And some people feel dissatisfied. I have some branch managers who are there. And they are doing
seemingly lucrative jobs. Yeah.
creative jobs. Or not even so. Some people are doing care jobs and they're proud to advertise on Instagram. It's paying me more than what I was paid here at branch managers. I had my friend who has done that, like with personal experience. She went there and she did cleaning. While she was doing her masters in fashion. She's going to do fashion work. And for me, that's why it's near big.
Yeah, I mean, this topic we can only agree on it. There's nothing to disagree.
Yeah.
Because Kiki said, greener pastures. Let's just look at it from that perspective of, God being all knowing, as in a place I will show you. Maybe He takes us by our baby steps. Then, what was the knowledge of the world? Possibly Abraham did not know other places like we do now.
Yeah.
The world is such a global village that you can stay in another country and not everything, but reasonably well enough about another location.
Very
just to know that it fits your persona, just like Kiki said. And also, it's just more fluid globally now. It's not just, we're right in Nigeria right now talking about the influx, which is quite high, but being kind of like experiencing the Japa situation quite recently, as well as my family moved from Nigeria to the UK. I was already in UK a couple of weeks trying to sort out accommodation and all this before I went to receive them, pick them up at the airport. I know when you're waiting for arrivals and everything, I could take a brief census of what was going on. It was, by what I could count on that day, predominantly Indians, even we, before, and then maybe Chinese, before I would say, okay, for us Africans, you can still distinguish a bit. Okay, these are East Africans, these are West Africans, these are even Nigerians, these are Ghanaians.
Yeah.
You can tell. And going by that, I would say that, okay, maybe a little bit of West Africans, Nigerians and Ghanaians would come maybe second and third after the Chinese, because it's a global thing. And because of skill, like Mrs. Varian said now, it's some parts of the world are, more technologically advanced, or, innovation is rewarded, and then there's more room for the kind of skills that, are predominantly available in other parts. For instance, you would think labor for generally, labor in the West.
Yeah.
Why we see the direction being like, looking at our map, talking about it, why it's heading westward, the more landmass, more opportunities, yes, a diminishing labor age or population, you understand. So there's room for, and then with the infrastructure that is over there, it doesn't seem to be stopping the time. So but my desire is to like kind of even it a little bit. See, because in my aviation career as a pilot, I trained in various parts of the world. I started training in Southern Africa, and then I went ab initial training, and I went on to Canada to do my initial type rating. Like very current were done in also in North America, in the United States, and then some in Europe. So I'll see that some of my colleagues, people were going back and forth as well. So when I was working in Nigeria, I had lots of colleagues that were from Europe and the Americas. You understand? But you can't just quantify, you can't put, because skilled labor, you understand, they're working as expatriates, just like we see other people going in the other direction. It's just like the population going westwards is more. But be rest assured that there's also a lot of, you could think that these systems or those societies they have infrastructure, they have, maybe better qualities of life or standards of living. But it's about the pay, maybe like as you mentioned, if you're building roads and new bridges and you're gonna bring in some kind of expertise.
Yes.
You understand, and depending on the companies that get these contracts, some could be in different parts of the world. Talk about pilot jobs. There are pilots here in Africa, in different parts that Shula has done. So it's skilled migration. I talk about it. So we are social beings as humans. You understand? So that's why aviation only gets bigger. Because even from the perspective of other beings, only plants can move by themselves. Otherwise, the rest of other animals, they're many.
The premise of great percent.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think another reason for that for Japa is some cultures don't they don't allow you to do some certain things that you want to do. You actually go to a place where there are the cultural sits with what you want to do as well. And again, there are so many things like, I could use an example, there are so many things that are not working in Nigeria. They're not working, and because of that, it affects development for individual, because you can start a career, let me say, make a tech career, and you're having light issues, you have electricity issues, you don't have lights, you go to internet, internet is bad and everything. When you go to country that the system works, you have your work here where you go to, there's a Wi-Fi and it's all high and fasty, and where you go to, there's electricity obviously everywhere, so it boosts your productivity, your productivity, gives you that zeal to want to continue. There are so many careers that have died in countries that have poor electricity, because you have an idea, this whole idea thing is, once you have an idea, if you don't execute immediately, you tend to like go stay there, forget goes down here, and you don't get to go back to it. So it's something that's a limiting factor for the techie people, and people that are more in that space, or we need this as a factor, like light, internet on your desktop. So if the place wherever you are is not favorable, you have, I think everybody has the right to move to another. I don't know everywhere you do, but there, actually, most people do, or most people do back to it.
Yes.
So whatever favorable for them.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah.
Talking about Turkey, I know a doctor that migrated as a medical doctor, but now they switched to tech. So probably maybe because of two.
Yes, now, and that's where they are and discover that someone's lights at least are good test for everything. Because if you spend time in the electricity, and it's something like maybe where it was is not severe with that, then it's okay, let me just try something before you start designing website, before you start doing some techy stuff. And that's how your career starts. But now I am seeing that. So there's a lot of things that are not working. And again, I heard of the road system, also transport system, rather. Yeah, but I was hearing someone speaking about Austria, yeah. About you just pay about, I think, about $100 worth of fee, and for the whole year, the transport is covered. For anything public transport, the train, subway, cab, subway, everything is covered for $100 for a year. So imagine like over here and the amount of that's pretty subsidized. So the way system work, it helps you prioritize the things you're supposed to prioritize, execute our ideas you're supposed to execute on. If you know, these are money for you. So, and Nigerians, we all know Nigerians are, I can speak about my own friends in diaspora. Nigerians outside, they are not joking. And I heard Nigerians here, they might be broke when they are here, or like we don't have enough money to cover for their bills, but immediately Japa, they leave the country. You see them, they start becoming top of their classes in school. You see them they start promoting them in their offices, so wherever they are. Yeah. Nigerians are hustlers. Nigerians are people that want to, that determined to do more than you. So they're go-getters. So they just need a platform, or rather a system that works, so they can actually show themselves. So in my own experience with my friends in diaspora, as I speak to Nigerians, I'm realizing this, when they move out, they do more.
They double to load.
That makes sense.
I saw something on the internet that said about the different types of Nigerians that go to the UK, the ones that are posting pictures on the social media, and the ones that are accepting every shift. Somebody was just coming into their house and just dropping their bag and got a call. Oh, when is she starting now? Okay. Just still doing your thing. So hey, back out the door.
I'll be like, this night of this shift.
I mean, it shows us, like, look at what the lady with the fucking thing and all that stuff. I mean, we're ready to do the hard work. We're ready to put in the work and all that, I mean, the reasons for travel for us locally are not far-fetched, like you said, better opportunities. And, I just feel like the conditioning, sets us up for, like, better achievements and, productivity, whereas you won't meet the frustrations that you're meeting here. But why people migrate as a question in general, like, apart from greener pastures, you go where you're tired, see the waves of the sea, the oceans, they move in different directions, So people just, set their sail, set it to the wind, and the wind takes them, you understand? So there are countries, not talk about tech, there are countries that are advanced in tech. Talk about oil, some people oil exploration. If there are people that are qualified in oil exploration, they're heading to Saudi, they're heading to, maybe the predominant oil producing countries like Nigeria.
Yes.
So you could go to US, you could go to the UK. It's not about the British Petroleum, the BP. You talk about Shell. You talk about energy companies like this that have lots of, vested interest in the oil producing countries. They have citizens of where they come from, where they are hiring locally. Moving to where they have these job settings. Then there are other countries that are like more, tech inclined. Yeah, and then you see that people, places like Canada, they try to form some. I think some of their Atlantic. They had an Atlantic program where the provinces around the North Atlantic, like the Newfoundland. I think a couple of maybe I can't remember the names of these provinces by heart, but they came together, around the Quebec area and places like this to say, okay, they formed, registering tech companies is easier. They want to make a hub out of it, just like what Silicon Valley has.
Yeah, Silicon
Valley. That area, like yeah.
Still very foreign out.
Yeah, then they talk about tourism. You understand? I mean, like Far East, as it is. You talk about places like Malaysia, Indonesia. They try to make their environments like hubs that people, now just go to if it's about vacation. I mean, when back then, even in Africa here, used to be flying. We had a route. It was Lagos to Dakar. Then Dakar to what's that small island off the coast of Dakar, the Gambia. It's an island country basically, and so we see that so many Europeans, you understand, during their winter months are coming for holidays in Gambia. Banjul was just like public with activity. I mean, it's just about reputation. It gets like that. Some places like Cape Verde, many places just build there, and then people move there. I talk about the islands, maybe in the West Indies. Some are just okay. People just feel it's retirement or live by the beach and so people are always gonna go where. I mean, it's a good thing. And the world has become so fast and busy that if you find your own safe haven, you should explore it.
Yeah. All right, that's a very good one from everybody. Thank you for your.
Sorry to say, some other people are highly nomadic in nature.
They move, yeah.
Yeah, we all know that everybody wants to go out. Everybody wants to Japa. Some people want to take the right path. Some people want to take the other part that is fast and, get part that is a crooked path. So we want to find out from you people who are there.
My secondary school, I had a fear, but making was crooked.
Somebody is a crook to a level he made himself.
Yeah. So I mean, it's to just answer you shortly there. Like we're talking about crook, maybe some people just like to it's difficult for them to follow the right paths and all that.
Cheaper.
It's for some people it's cheaper.
It's more expensive in the long run.
In the long run.
Yeah.
It's penny wise out.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
It's just like you. I mean, when you do not know what is on the back end. We're talking on another, podcast some other time. So we're discussing how the plane has barely come to a stop, and some people are already up their seatbelt. They're not following the instructions.
Yeah.
It's not even as though there's a punitive measure put in place for somebody that flaunts these instructions. But if the plane stopped just because, in some big airports around the world, you could land and taxi to navigate around the airport ramp to your parking position or your gate for another 30 minutes, 45 minutes even. I mean, big bus stops, like in Atlanta, the Jackson. You talk about JFK in New York, and then Amsterdam. There are places like this, the Schiphol. So if you don't follow the instruction, the pilot doesn't even know that you are up. And then he moves again under the power of the engines, you understand. You could fall or break a leg and all, So it's the same thing I like to bring to people that, are ignorant of. I mean, they get sold what they want to hear, or they are looking for only, if you even told them, these are the two ways, just be patient or go and get this. Sometimes there's, I've looked at the person that wanted to go to, Canada. Migrate to Canada so bad. He, a tech person, was working a job that he was underpaid in. When he tried it, his points didn't reach. There were other people always looking, no, you can get apply visa. When you reach, you do this, you do that. He said, listen, to get my points to be sufficient, I need to do a master's degree. The master's was going to take him 1.5 years on open university because of the pressure of his job as well. As much as it's underpaying, you have to feed. So he had to be, doing this job while doing this. I didn't know time could fly by so soon. After some time, and then he called me that, he's looking for information about buying tickets. So, I said, wait, the last time we spoke, and I realized that this is almost 2 years. So he had done that master's, gotten the certificate, gotten the requisite points, you understand, in the pool where for the immigration program he was applying to, direct entry, and then he, got approved for the visa. And then now he's there. Without, the consequences like we'll discuss shortly. So some people just want to follow there's that adrenaline rush. We were talking about travel and the Japa, and my desire to see it back and forth. I traveled and I met some very young people in the US. Oh, you're from Nigeria, you're from Lagos? I like the fact that they were aware. They were not like, oh, you're from Africa. No.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to start that. Africa is it's not a country discussion. But these Gen Z people were really informed about the cities. Like, I'm actually not from Lagos, I'm from another. Yeah. Oh, is it Abuja? So go really? Yeah, it's Abuja. So, but it's Lagos. I'm going to go to Lagos next summer. Oh, why do you want to go to Lagos? Dangerous, mate. It's scared. I remember. They want to go and find out.
Yes.
You understand?
I said it's dangerous.
Yeah.
No, I see you for themselves.
You don't fall, but for very young people that I don't know, before they go into college, they're going to tour, they're going to come like this, And I told them, listen, it's not, I gave them good spots to come to, come to Lagos, and I told them, show them a few places that I've been to.
Yeah.
The beaches when I'm going with family, okay, and this is what to go to. So it's around, but the consequences of migration, when done correctly, they're not worried about what activities they're going to come and do in Lagos, because already they have that mindset, they're going to do it correctly. Yeah. Even if it's not migration, if it's not immigration, it's just visiting or something, tourism, but they're going to go there with the right, so you're planning. But imagine you have to already, you're going to get there, then you're docking what you don't already know.
Yes.
You think that there's a short path to getting there, and you're told that, and you don't know the design of that system. You don't know when it's going to be updated. You don't know if this thing you talked about was a loophole that somebody else did and was successful with it. Sometimes it's not even illegal. It's just that they've changed the regulation, they've changed the law now. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why it's right that you find the right agency, find the right people that are like the Remote Aviation in charge of running your visa, running the whole program for you. They have guaranteed pathways that you can use to travel to anywhere of your choice as well. So you don't need to say you. Moreover, they say ignorance is not even an excuse. Being ignorant is not an excuse. If you're being caught traveling illegally, you're going to answer for that. You face the penalty and everything. So it's right you do the right thing. Follow agencies that are verified internationally that you can use and to avoid all those unnecessary attention.
There was some time I was hearing the news. They were talking about somebody that was being convicted, a former government official, and all that. Say for alleged, he's in court being prosecuted for sharp practices.
Sharp practices. That sharp guy.
That was my first time.
You're not supposed to be a sharp guy.
Yes, sharpness. I get it.
What is the borderline?
So they want to be known.
Sharp practice.
Yes.
So there's some of these things are not outrightly illegal. They just become illegal at a point.
Yeah.
If you go with a resident, visiting or a tourist visa, and then you want your intention, that is why you see at the port of entry, there are immigration officials. They've seen so many things. Some people fall victim that are not even guilty because of what their experiences have been and what they have on the record. So, if you feel, you just get a different type of visa, then when you reach it, there are visas that have room for you to migrate to another visa, or to, I won't say it's metamorphosis, like butterfly changing its
Face to face.
Yeah, but it's like allows some changes. It has some, flexibility. And then there are why some are just very strict. because that is what they were meant for. It's a tourist visa. You want to come and see this country 3 months. I mean, by United Nations Charter, we are all, citizens of this world. And then we have, like you pointed out rightly, that we have the right to travel throughout the world. You can see where it fits you. And I mean, some people don't even know. Some countries, they're trying to protect their borders. They don't know who is going to be the next great thing for them.
Neutral. So they give opportunities.
People come from, different parts. When you see games happening, most of countries are so proud that they are winning because certain talents from, other countries. I bet if you ask them maybe at the point where those people they'll like feel, no, it shouldn't be better. Not just games, look, I was talking about the primary
innovation.
Also, I think I saw this story. I don't know how verified it is. I think this Mbappe that plays for PSG. I think you say he's a Cameroonian. His dad is a Cameroonian, and he was supposed to play for the Cameroon national team, and they actually asked him to pay a certain amount to fit him into his dad was like, he can't pay. So I think that period he moved to France and he started an academy, and before you know, he's on the national team. See him winning the World Cup. I think he went to the final again the last time. And he win again. He's still young, and he's still young.
Yes.
And see him in his own club side. See what he's doing. Everybody's taking Mbappe as a god and everything. But if he was rejected during the period of moving to France, maybe they won't have to win the World Cup or something, because he has his own personal effect to winning the World Cup as well. So,
and the other example is like N'Golo Kante.
Sadio Mane.
In fact, I think we have Africans on almost every foreign team that you can think of. I think you have African immigrants.
Because we watch, like, when it comes to the Olympics and you see other games.
Sure. Then you talk about the medical sector, where we're talking about Africans being one of the top medical doctors in America and all of that. So talk about the
VP of the US.
The vice president.
Okay, I mean, you
So you see, even those countries, they gain from these things because they take the smart ones. That's why you have to go through so many processes before they can approve some your this thing. They can approve you moving to their country. You have to go through so many processes. They are testing your IQ, testing your intelligence, they're testing everything about you, your kind of person. They check your police statement, they check your health record, they check your behavioral patterns and everything, and they see that you're qualified to be in their country. We'll take you in. Nobody wants to add to more dull people in their country now. I don't want to add more losers to my team. I need more winners. So definitely, why not go out there and search for their smart brains and bring them to the countries to make things work. So that's a plus. Back in those days, in the early years, I think even before I will move it down to slave trade, even before they can even take any person as a slave, you have to be physically strong. They have to see that you can farm for 10 days without stressing yourself. So it's still something that's happened up today. You cannot run away.
I mean, regrettable, you understand. Something that should never have been. About mercy, humanity to man. I mean, historically, lots of things had to be changed. Going forward from that, because you want to rewrite it. You don't want the rich history that was, the prehistoric. I mean, the history that was a prelude to those times. To show that these people were doing well on their own and everything. But we are here now. I mean, you don't cry over spilled milk. I want to move forward. And we just want to see that, okay, unfortunately, we can't control what I was talking about, the consequence of illegal immigration. Some hostility that certain nationals experience is because of the consequence of illegal immigration. You understand? So societies are so, when I'm in Scandinavia, like, this is like some parts of the world that are deemed to be like the happiest. I mean, Norway, we'll talk about Sweden.
Denmark.
I mean, the cleanest, energy is being used in these places. The air is so clean and all that. And then, per capita GDPs are so high. But everybody, so imagine a few bad elements coming here. I mean, you would not imagine what maybe one individual, I mean, they say one bad or it's a bunch. So one person could be wrecking havoc. Sometimes you really see it said that in a particular small town, some people are getting robbed with cereal, and then the person get arrested, and then there's seemingly peace among a large population. So, these are the consequences. If you go there illegally, that is the system, which you may not be 100% aware, stops you from working, as you should. Maybe your condition will now, you end up resorting to crime because of the mentality of man, how you will have to fight to
survive. Yes.
The survival instinct.
Will kick in.
Yeah, so those are the consequences of illegal immigration. You do not want to, it's easier said. Somebody will feel like, wow, do you know what I was going through? So you want me to, after being here, take a flight and leave by myself? But in some developed countries have fund systems in such a way that nobody tells you, you actually buy that ticket and leave. There are places like the UK, there are study visas that, they can give you post-study. But if you don't get something after then, you will know that there's nowhere to hide. You need all this documentation to work, to rent a place, to shop.
Yeah.
Basically,
to live.
You understand? You see, it's more expensive for you to get transportation. Because how you get in the car, the insurance, what's the source of living? You don't have a right to work. You don't have a right to rent. I know, so you know that, So, want to encourage more of that, rather than some hostilities and some, high punitive measures that, just sometimes throw people, into wanting to look for pathways by going by boats and risking their life and not else to get there. If you have this kind of systems in place, where they are still developing, then, then you reduce that. So then the consequence of illegal migration.
I think I'll stay, sorry to continue. The part you also stuck more on ignorance. On the part you said, you don't have the right to rent. Like coming from a country like Nigeria here, where I think this is the first time I'm hearing about the Nigerian man. It will be the first time hearing about the right to rent. If I have my money in Nigeria, I'll rent wherever I want to rent and stay. The people don't ask me. Highest they can ask is, who are you? Are you single? Are you married? Are you that? After you said that, if you do transfer, you will enter inside the house. They don't want to know more. They don't need too much information to give you a house. But then, having that mindset as a Nigerian, and you're going through the illegal means where you are not being told that you will need the right to rent before you can even have an accommodation, a place to stay. Now, moving over there, let me say the whole illegal movement was successful and you're already in the country of your choice, and now you can't rent a house. So now what will you do? You're not going to be...
it's not like you can live under the bridge.
You understand?
God has blessed us here. Very good. The best weather around the world. We have the perfect temperatures. It's never too hot, never freezing cold, even at the lowest of the temperatures. When I'm flying into Abuja or Lagos at about 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., most times I see is 14, 16 degrees.
Yeah.
It's survivable. You understand? It's not like you're getting minus, 20 or 30 degrees up in North America or some slow blizzards and all that. So just to throw more light to what you said, apart from, some people feel I would do the illegalities.
They are not do legal.
Then go and then I'll go legit later. Sometimes it doesn't work, entirely as you would think. Talk about the right to rent. You are coming here, you say you want to be a tourist. They're going to give you a tourist visa to many countries. In especially countries in the West. I talk about UK, which I have first-hand information as well. Maybe Canada and US, I know the same similar systems exist. You can stay in an Airbnb. Hotels are there. Even shelters. Churches will take you in for a short time. I'm broke. I cannot have come from vacation, but I've squandered my money like the prodigal son. But I'm not ready to go back to my father yet. I want you still, Those, okay, come and stay, give you food or give you this. As long as you're not doing drugs and all that, then that's a convenient place for you to stay because you are stranded. There are facilities like this.
Yeah.
Now, a time will elapse. This visa was for 3 months or 6 months, or they tell you that, at one entry, we're expecting to stay for a period at the most, if this is actually your intention. Yeah. So, when you now want to migrate into becoming a citizen of this place or becoming a resident of this place, this your visa, this becomes sharp practices now.
Yeah.
Now, there are measures in place. There are checks and balances. You have to have the right to rent. Right to rent documents only give you if you're a temporary resident. Like you're coming here for school, so you have to stay for a year or more. So we'll give you a right to rent. For that period, after that year or more, you know, your right to rent, which you are going to be giving, agencies that you're renting from, will expire. And those people too, I mean, the law is meant to protect them. They don't just say, oh, transfer the money to India.
Yeah.
They want to see that you can afford it. You know, what is your page?
Yeah.
Well, are you in school? Are you doing a second job? Okay, this is how much you came with. You already showed proof of funds that this is how much you have. You know, so other alleged Japa, like having funds, not sufficient, but I'll reach there, then I'll struggle and, make it out. Not to be insensitive about the plight that makes people move. And majority of the people, if at least you start on the right footing, you get there on the right mission. It's better for you to at least even come as a student without the funds that you say you have, and be ready to work. You know, it gives you room still to work. So figure out yourself. Can somebody now support you? Do you have family that now look like, he actually really, he used to be, serious, but seems serious about this particular one. So he's there. Can we support him as he's working as well? And then you make the living. But, not to entirely say, you know what I mean? We can't overemphasize, the consequence of illegal. We should just go under the right circumstances. Sometimes it's just for you to wait 5 or 6 months. Sometimes it's a year or 2, whatever it is, get the right requirements. So it's better for you to invest in getting the right requirements, to get the right visa that you want. Then when you get skills wanted in these places. So I don't understand why you understand. If you go take it and you dedicate 6 months of your time to, like you say, you maybe just 6 months. I want to learn how to become,
an instructor.
Cool.
Do you understand? Yeah.
In 6 months you go there, you have something to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Actually, I have a friend.
I have a friend. The job. I have
a friend that actually went through that same gym. He was a gym instructor actually in the UK. Straight up. That's I think just a 6-month process. And he was already there, and he was there on a job, not like he's coming to hustle. So it happens. The thing is, people don't really take time to really look at things deep before they make their decision. Like before you think of going through the legal route, do the research of the legal routes of the ones that you can do and the ones you can't do. There's so many skills out there. There are skills that you can learn in 3 months. Skills like graphic design, skills like video editing. You can learn less than 3 months if you're very sharp in learning. And before you start applying for jobs that approve that can do their sponsor. They can sponsor your visa and everything. So it's just people don't take their time to do the research, proper research, do their due diligence and look at things properly. That's why they fall victims. And some other set of people, not like they don't know, they are fully aware of the consequences. They know this route has its ups and downs, but I think some people are just stubborn. They just want to go through that route. Yeah, because so many people, so especially that period of the Libya thing, the news was putting it out there that this is what's happening. These people are being lured by human traffickers. You understand? People trafficking people. They are being lured by these people. Then they'll take them to other countries and make them do other things they don't need to do. Then they are seeing it on the news. And you see, after the news, you are still calling the person that is planning the Japa level for you again, illegally. So you understand? So some people are not, they are just, let me just say, they are just desperate to, they're just desperate to do it. And because of that, they don't do their due diligence. So they have to pay for whatever it is, face the consequences of traveling illegally.
All right.
Yeah.
Very interesting contribution there from everyone. Now we know why traveling illegally is a problem. So this brings us to the next question. Why is it key to travel with the right visa? Why is it key to travel with the right? Why is it necessary that if you want to migrate, you go with the right visa?
Yeah, I think we've even trashed almost everything on that.
I mean, just like we said, the flexibility is limited.
Yeah,
for the different visa classes. Some people are out of a lack of information. You understand? I mean, the one that irks me is when you have the resources to get the right information. Be out of you feeling like you are too smart. I mean, when you get that's the lack of education. When you are educated, I cannot just want to do a graphics job now. I said, no, I will just go and do it immediately. I would need a graphics designer to do the job for me. Even if I had an idea about how far I could go, the later, where I can stop. So maybe I can negotiate and this is how much I know. Can you, and I do this part and then send the job to you to complete it so that it's less for me. It's in the era of information now, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
It's all over the news and all that. But what are our news media? Sometimes, underdevelopment is a problem. You could actually have it, in developed countries, there are channels for news. They do that the people that they know. Some people, they ask, do you want SMS? Do you want email? Do you want...
The format in which you want to receive this?
Yeah, exactly, And then, news, mass media, mass communication means are still there, So you'll be surprised that it could be all there. But the good thing about the internet revolution is the availability of information now. If you're looking for a particular thing, even socially you can get it, Sometimes without, the conspiracies of thinking that or the bias that you may have for one news agency or the other. So that flexibility that people feel is there is not there.
Yeah.
If you go to certain countries, if you go to US visa application portal, you say there are over 30 or 20 visas. 90% apply for 1 or 2 types of visas. It could be just the F1 and plus the F2, which is, student and dependent.
Okay.
Understand?
Okay.
Which is when you're going for studies. And the other one could be the B1, B2, which is the business visit, tourism visa. There are so many, the health visas are there. You will see J, H, HB1, they are skilled visas, they are skilled worker visas. Some of these people have that skill to be able to apply for an HB1 visa or get a job and then get that sponsor, showcase yourself to them and then get them to actually give you the documentation or sponsor you to apply for a certain job, you understand?
Yeah.
But they'll feel, no, I'll go with the B1, B2 when I reach there. Now you not reach there, you understand? At this point, already you came and you applied for visa, you told them solely for visiting and all that. So if you go and say you change your mind, they could even ask you, is there a possibility that when you get to the US, you're going to now become, going to change your mind and say to you say no? Because you say yes, then of course they're going to deny you. Because they want you to go and look for the right visa and apply. And then you say no, yes, that becomes the problem. You're
For you, yeah.
you set up yourself to be perjuring yourself and all. So, talking about why it's key, to try one of the right visa, it gives you the flexibility to do what you set out to do.
Okay.
There's nothing that works without a plan. You can, if you fail to plan.
You plan to fail.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't just arrive there and want to work with a skill you do not have.
Yes.
The particular skill you have has a visa class.
Yeah.
You understand? So you go through that one, and if you don't know, you understand. Go with some consultation. You understand? That is why, like you mentioned about remote aviation, some people are looking at, having the knowledge. It's not always about share size. Having the knowledge, the right personnel that know, may have experienced it, have taken the time to research or travel through this part. All their life pathways have taken them through these exposures. It's key now for them to be able to sell it or help, bring, so get somebody that knows in our own popular finance.
Yeah. Follow who no road. I understand.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Default key.
Yes.
Follow the.
The right process. Yeah.
We've had instances where people are being denied visas. Not like they did anything wrong, but because they didn't have the right information.
Yeah.
Can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
This kind of things, okay, to save me cost.
Yeah.
Cost you
More, yes.
because some people now, for instance, an application fee that would have cost you maybe, let's say, $250 thereabouts to get the consultancy done, they get to get a 10-year ban for misrepresentation. It's how 10-year ban in the UK, the US, and all.
How like you committed the crime?
So some of them is just because you one document, that was submitted. You could have been advised that no, go about it the right way, or this is how to, or don't, it could even be there misunderstanding. But how do you even,
How do you even know?
it could be that because of the precedence of others, you are just falling victim, to me, it's and all. So, we heard about one recently from the UK where these work visas for healthcare, where they give them a certificate of sponsorship, they, took it, and then they got a ban because it was a fake certificate of sponsorship. People contacting them, telling them, no, if you pay this amount of money, will get you a job, will get that job will give you a certificate of sponsorship. So how would you know that you are presenting the same gullibility and desperation I was talking about? If a FOIA document was given to you, just like you are traveling, you understand how you choose to take a bag for somebody. Even if they say they seal this, how do you know? Were you there when they were sealing?
Yeah.
It's not that stuff, you don't know what to seal. You thought it was just bought in the shop. Why not buy it by yourself? You didn't offer to buy it if you really can't have to help. Otherwise you pack yourself for what you are. And then people should be just, understanding not to even put other people in those kind of situations to say no. But, we're social people, us Indians, the Chinese, the parts of the world where, we in our symbiosis and we rely on communal values because we rely on each other like that, so it's imperative. It cannot be overemphasized to travel with the right visa. Make a plan, consult who can make a plan for you. To your strengths. We've had people come, to remote aviation, they're looking for another team. When they have one that is Nikiti, this is a low-hanging fruit that you can get this one and build on this one, Rather looking at, I didn't know that. So, there's a lot of information out there.
All right. That's very, very, good to know. Which this traveling to the right visa brings us to guaranteed pathway. Yeah, I've seen Raymart advertise about guaranteed pathway to the UK through the UK visa, through work visas, through study visas. So please, can you tell us more about this guaranteed pathway visas when you talk about traveling to the right visa or to the right visa platform?
Another place for BDM, right?
That's your question.
That would
Yes.
I benefited from it as well. I could have I could just share my own experience.
Yeah.
How Remote handled mine. So
The guaranteed pathway is our latest baby.
Wow.
It's the newest thing on the blog.
Okay.
We've had people subscribing. The good thing, what I love about this is that you don't go through the hassle of doing anything. You just sit there. Your own is to be bringing documents. I was talking to one of the other people that subscribed. He said, that is so easy. I want to just call her, bring this one. She'll come and submit her work, sit down.
Yes.
And I think it takes the pressure off everyone. You're sure. Then this one that they said, no visa, no fee.
Yeah.
If you don't get it, you get your money back.
Yeah.
And there can be no better deal.
Yes.
So for me, that's the best product I'm selling. I own it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Let me just try into what IBDM said. It's awesome to look at it from that perspective. Where you just said you bring documents.
Yeah.
It's the same way that you're going to bring documents and take it to an embassy by yourself. But how are you, just like we said now, about somebody bringing a COS now,
Sorry.
how are you sure of the document that you're bringing? Which of your documents do you need? You understand? Don't contradict yourself. Don't you even, so we just have to get into the habit of paying for service.
Yeah.
As a people, we've been used to buying goods, and maybe, that's something the left but with the stage we were talking about now. But for some reason the culture came. If we see his glass, say, we're happy to buy it and because they're taking something. That's what we think is value.
Yeah.
There's more value in quality service than in goods sometimes.
Sure.
You understand? So like this one, the lawyers that know about it, that can go and read on your behalf and would understand what the regulation is. So keep track of what the changes are. I will project, understand, how the changes will affect you, and then plan going forward. And so when you bring this, you have a qualification, in an English language proficient, study course. Yes, I have. Okay, you bring this, okay, this is like, we need you to take an IELTS test to show that you want to take it, you bring it. I mean, they'll look at what to put together for your application, you understand? Okay, so, I mean, and it could not be any better. The peace of mind, like you said, is being handled by professionals. It's just when your car is bad, you don't just call one of your neighbors, come. You'll be hitting the other side. You are
mechanic.
Going to your mechanic.
Yeah, because you're a professional.
That's a professional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I can fix this car, then you can go and speed on the highway without your tire
Having
an accident and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have that confidence. So you have that confidence that, and then the advice is even to give you, the guidance on how to go about, and then the support, I mean, that is by that guaranteed pathway, where you're not going to find out the other things you're talking about. They'll tell you how it's going to be. Okay, listen, if you get into the country, when you get into the country, this is what you're going to need for renting.
Yeah.
You're going to need this document, this form, this is going to cost. So you have a plan. You have a guide. You have a guide to follow. Exactly. You don't just go. So that failure to plan, that jackpot to visa or going to sort yourself out there and all that, many people have come back through deportations. Some people have ended up in jails. Some people have ended up having to be criminals to survive. Then there's a fraction of those that will manage, but the effort, is it worth it? But if, maybe you follow this kind of advice, you see that from point A to B, how you will progress in your new environment. Yeah. Even if you're just nomadic and you don't have the time, like you mentioned, you're here 2 or 3 years. No, I am looking for the next environment I want to go to. You will achieve something. Yeah. You wouldn't be moving around in circles, ending to pay, somebody that you're squatting with and you cannot end well because you're not at the right visa. And then, when you have the
fact you leave your father's land that you're very comfortable with eating pounded yam and egusi, and you go to just living uptight. Me, for myself, I think I'm very big on delegating. So when it comes to things that I know I have little knowledge about, I don't want to learn everything. If I have the document and you can help me out, and I just submit the document to you, and you process all of these things to you, I make payment. In fact, I'm not even making payment until they just give me feedback. And according to the guarantee pathway, I'm not even making payment until I've seen
your visa.
Then that's when I can now make payment.
Yes.
Why not? If not, because I want to delegate it to the professionals that can do it. Yeah. So I don't want to be like that, my uncle, and do everything by myself. It's done. I don't like stress. I want to chill and you do it. That's your own job. When it's time for my own job.
Yes, exactly.
I do it, I get paid, and I go. So, one thing is, even I would say most times he's always under the sink is because he's not doing it well. Yeah, exactly.
You have people in this, it's not going to spoil.
Yeah. So
at the end of the day, maybe you spend more money going to the market, buying 2 different parts.
Yeah.
I mean, then you find a different set of
the time,
energy, resources. You can't even trade that. Okay, so having heard about this guaranteed pathway, what are the success stories that you have that, can prove that, okay, this is a sure way, it's a sure pathway? Any people that you have processed the visa for and have success stories to tell us?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Brown.
Yes.
We have success stories, not stories.
Okay.
And I have my evidence.
Oh, please. Oh, Captain is part of it. Wow. Interesting.
I mean, it was. I can't say it's a show way.
It's a show way. Oh, that's a good.
It's a show way. The whole process was seamless.
Does that make remote a show plug?
Everyone is a shop plug.
Okay.
Everyone is a shop plug. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's about the what makes remote tick is that alliance, because building business is about building bridges. In this case, across the Mediterranean, Okay. But in other cases, across the Atlantic, across different lands, that's how you do it. So then when you get to a point where there's a trust.
Yes.
It took a lot of effort, on the part of Aviation to I have to get this law firm to agree to, it's about getting the negotiations. All what we're talking about here, no visa, no fee.
Yeah.
No fee. You get your passport, you go to the embassy and collect it before you pay, for the visa service. It's a function of what Rima did, meeting up with the law firm, having meetings, taking flights to go to London, earning the trust. Them to vetting us and saying that, okay, what you're doing, this is, you do the work for us as well. Yeah. We're not going to get some kind of elements that it will be difficult to deal with, who you're bringing. So once we got to that stage, as a family, I was kind of like apart from Dublin rules. In this case now, I was just, so I came and BDM, they put the application through, the communication channels, perfect, always updating, this is what to do, this is what, right from the very first email sent to you, it details, if you see it's going to be like a 6 weeks process, what is going to happen. This will happen, then this will happen. Then you will apply, then you pay for NHS, then you pay for, this is a UK, skilled work permit. There is a 5-year pathway to citizenship.
Wow.
Because after 5 years, you can apply for your indefinite leave to remain, So you have a work permit, the other, also study permits. This is a longer pathway though. After your study, then you get the work visa. If you get a study extension, sort of,
Yes.
After your study permit, you have the period where you're allowed to stay in the country to look for a job. And then you get this job, and then you are more of in a situation to now apply for the indefinite leave to apply for the skilled worker visa, which it doesn't count when you are a student. That's why this is a very good pathway. It sources for your skills, and it sources for which companies have a need for these skills that have been applying or advertising their jobs, and have not gotten these roles filled.
Okay.
It was just because of possibly Brexit and all that. So this is unique to UK. It's a golden opportunity to get, and you see that the law firm is checking this kind of information for you, doing the application for you, submitting the application for you, and then telling you, okay. Just vetting that assistance that that shows that you just give exactly what is required, and then the experience of the settling in, when you come and you're not waiting for 6 months or 1 year to get one paper to work. No, immediately you're arriving, you're getting, biometric BRP cards, that are issuing you with an NI number, gives you a right to rent, right to work, and then you can freely look for, the dependents, that are working age can look for a job. The skilled worker can do a job and still have another 20 hours to do another job on the shortage occupation list. There's a lot of flexibility within this visa, and it's golden. We really enjoyed the transition and settled in quite fast. Gave opportunities for the children to be in very good schools and adapt to programs that when you do not bother yourself with avoiding certain things, you can look further. Can look at it. Do you want to take advantage of the grammar school system? Do you want to afford the private school system? It's your choice. You're not throwing monies in the wrong direction, trying to repair some mistakes back, consulting lawyers now to pay for certain things to change status and all that, so you can put your money and then invest in the children want to be in football academies, they want to do tuitions, we need to pass the very competitive schools, and this is what shapes you. For some of us going to the kind of secondary school we went to, shaped us as well. When you saw that people graduating here, my own secondary school, I had a public school just next to us. Mine was a Catholic school, and this public school, nobody was graduating there going to medicine. So there's no pressure. They were not, we just want to finish from 5. You understand? Even if during WIX, some people don't go to the halls to write.
Yeah.
They are waiting for the day. Oh, tomorrow we're finishing that. Hey, we're finishing school. They are finishing school. That's the idea.
Yeah.
But you know, we're like, I'm writing jam because I have to get into medicine, into engineering. You know how in Nigeria, you know, you're either a medical doctor, an engineer, a pharmacist, a lawyer, or it is based in the family.
The rest. On that. Yeah.
All of us are afraid of that disgrace.
Yeah. Oh, that was back then.
Back then, right now, you understand? When that they go to
I'd be a TikTok influencer. You right? Now that's the skill.
Back then, parents were like, no, my son wants to do music. He wants to go wait. They saw that, wait, you know, David is doing music, you know, and his dad is saying, take this jet and go and do your concert.
Yeah.
And then they realize that, oh, okay, I mean, this is the
it's
process,
paying off.
you know, it's paying off. His satisfaction, you know. I mean, he's better at that than he could have been being a medical doctor and making mistakes and killing people that know what he's cut out for. And then you're forcing him that, no, you must be a medical, you know. So, I mean, this actually gives you that kind of, so that there are resources, guidance, and counseling.
Yeah.
So, if you have disadvantages in your client, it could be temporary. It could be some war in Russia that's making, you know, I mean, you know, what's the what's the country that the conflict is with?
Ukraine, yeah.
Making Ukrainians, you know, migrate. It could be Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You see the situation which they could be in. It could be in Nigeria. It could be just some social shortages in education, or a population that the government cannot, or we have to build a democracy and then get to a stage where we grow to where we can handle it. If you don't, you know, and if you can go out there and make better of yourself, why not, you know? And then maybe you even be in a position to, you know, go back to those countries, and, you know, otherwise you could be in a country to even in a position to develop that country of your residence or citizenship even further, like we are seeing in the case of the Prime Minister and the Mayor of London even. You know, I mean, and other immigrants around the world are doing awesome in government and in other positions. So I mean, this is for those that know. I mean, like Kike mentioned, countries like, you know, I mean, they are taking the best of the best. You know, they are taking the skills that you can come and deploy to build their economies. This that, you know, brings in more income and then brings in, you know, more taxes for the government to be able to do even, you know, better infrastructure and things. Talk about the guaranteed pathway. I will recommend it, and
100%.
It's showy.
All right. Okay, guys, there you have it. The guaranteed pathway visa to UK citizenship. In case you want to migrate to UK, here is the opportunity so that you can come back with your own success story. Okay, guys, if you're interested in the guaranteed pathway to UK citizenship, call the number on the screen or DM Raymat Aviation on Instagram. I would like to thank Captain's Residence for hosting this podcast. You can find Captain's Residence on Instagram at Captain's Residence for your accommodation needs, located in Abuja, Nigeria. Thank you and keep a date with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.